You ready?
Go.
All right. So just to build upon what was already shown in the previous videos with the cross lays, and we're going to show you a variation. This would be what is considered an apartment lay. So certain apartment complexes around Medfield, where it may be a long deployment of hose to actually get to a far unit, you know, whatever that may be, and the parking lot's full. So we can't obviously get that close to the structure or the unit on a second or third floor to be able to fight fire. So what this is going to represent is how to do that in what is probably one of the most efficient ways that I've learned through experience. So to begin with, as we've set up all the loops, the way we've set them up, you have 300 feet of pre-connected 2.5 hose. The reason why I mention that is because I believe that a 2.5 inch hose is the most versatile hose on a fire truck, because it's the only hose that you can use for attack and supply. All your other hoses, whether it's supply line or whether it's attack line, are dedicated to that only. Where your 2.5, regardless of why you're pulling it, you could use it for either. And so once again, options. So we're gonna, and it's set up with the two loops the same way, after the first coupling and after the last coupling. And I would say that for the most part, if you're gonna pull the whole bed off, because you're in a defensive operation and you're far enough away where you need to pull that whole 300, you would pull it off in a freeway style pull. If we're going to use it for this apartment lay, you don't necessarily have to pull off that second loop, the first one that's in that hand that clears the bed, because we just don't need that much hose. So what I'm going to have Paul come up. He's going to step up there. He's going to grab the nozzle, wrap it around his head like he does in every other lay that we've shown, and he's going to grab just the top loop. Step down. Yep. And he's gonna go so we can figure out how much hose he needs. So that's pretty good right there, Paul. Good. So I waited for this coupling to drop. This takes a matter of seconds. All we do is just disconnect here. Disconnect the pre-connect part of that hose. Tie in. And then I'm going to come around and I'm going to grab the gated Y. So you got your gated Y here. And what this does is this gives you options, because now wherever we tie in to a line, we're going to have the availability of two lines. This is now basically acting as your supply line. So we're going to come back here. And for the sake of the video, let's say you needed 100 feet, right? So that's where you tie in, because that's how deep the apartment is, so that you know you have enough hose to make the third floor. For the purpose of this, we'll break it right here. So go ahead and break that there, Paul. Now you could grab this Y with the line, but for the purpose of the video, we're just trying to show you how this is going to be set up. So hypothetically, you actually have 100 feet out. This would be at the end of that. So you can leave that now. You can leave that there for now, Paul. So now what's great about this is now the driver's going to supply this line. He could supply it right now because it's gated, so it's shut off. Now what we can do is we can go back, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to transition that flat load to a Minuteman load. Come on with me. So just like we showed you in the previous video, he's gonna undo the loops. Actually, yeah, go ahead, undo the loops. Just for set up the same way. Now with this is a two-person operation, because what's gonna happen is we're gonna pull. Go ahead and grab the nozzle. Paul, just get it over to your side. Yep, just right there. No. Just keep it right up there. There you go. Because that's gonna. And so, what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna grab the loops. I'm grabbing this whole bed, and I'm gonna pull this out. And what Paul's gonna do is he's gonna get his shoulder underneath and getting ready to take this. Now, as you pull this out, he's gonna help me, and you're gonna begin to turn this. So now the nozzle, keep that going. Now come out. Okay, good. Right there. Stay right there. So now this is now turned, and he's got it right down here. This is now turned from a flat load to a Minuteman load, which means it's going to fall off his back if you do it nice and you keep this nice and tight the way he has this, and have this tight on his elbow for now. And then what I'm going to do is just disconnect here. So I'm going to disconnect. Now he's going to go to where that gated Y is. And this is you're going to need two people to do this, but this is an apartment lane. So this isn't going to be done immediately. So he's just going to go up right to wherever that gated Y is, and he's going to stop. And all I'm going to do, just give it a little, yep, is now tie in. And now, as a fully PPE, I'd be in full PPE, and if I notice that this is starting to drop off, I'm going to help him get this up and over so it's weighted. It's easier for him to handle. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. He's just going to start walking, and I'm going to walk behind him. And he's going to let that drop off. Put your arm down a little bit. Yep. And this will just drop off as he goes up the stairs. And then my job is to make sure that this drops off nice and clean. And if you have any issues, just let that drop off. Yep. Let it drop off. Not the whole thing. Do you get that? So, and it continues to drop off. So look how much he still has left. So there's your last coupling. So now, if you guys all know this fire station, look how far we've gotten. You can pan back, Tom, to that.
Yeah.
And then, so we're up here. He has now, that was only a 150-foot hose. If he's gonna make entry to a unit up on this floor now, he has his nozzle plus 50 feet, because that's the last coupling right here. And then all you have to do is just play that out. You can drop that ball. And you don't have to be cute about it, just make sure it's clear. Obviously, if there wasn't equipment and so on, and you're ready to make a fire attack. We did it in slow motion, but when you do this and you deploy this with a purpose, it doesn't take more than maybe 2-3 minutes to actually deploy all this and get the line charged. So that's an apartment lay. Thanks.
Over now.
Oh, we're good.